That's ISO.
Rack it up, I got a bit of the bank to make me a safe house. Shake it up, she got her hands on her knees and she bringing the cake out. Smoke it up.
All right, folks. Welcome to the Wealth Ladder Podcast. We have another amazing guest for you today. We have a young lady that needs no introduction, but I'm going to let her introduce herself to the world at large. Vivian, take it from here.
Hi, everyone. My name is Vivian Yip, and I am the founder and CEO of Corporate Rentals USA. We host a brand of midterm rentals called Hestia on our platform. And we're a new business, but I'm not new to real estate. I've been investing in real estate since 2004, but probably more significantly since 2015. And investing in real estate has really given me the power to figure out how to leave my corporate job. I was a program manager at Apple for probably the last year before I left, but prior to that, I was in operations. I was at Apple for almost 7 years. And before that, just spent a lifetime in operations and supply chain.
Awesome. So walk us through your background. You were at Apple. How were you able to make the quantum leap to go from a corporate entity like that? Because Apple's going to be around for a while. Well, we hope those who have stock in there. So what you do today?
I think it just started with a dream. It was, first of all, it was not easy. There was a lot of hard work put into place before I was able to finally quit. But it started with the dream of never having to ask for another day off. Because I have a small family and I had a cousin that was getting married in Hong Kong. And I really wanted to go to that wedding.
Beautiful country, by the way.
It is great. And I was so disappointed when I wasn't able to take time off to go and see her beautiful day. And then it escalated into things like feeling guilty or taking time off for my kids if they were sick, or taking them to a doctor's appointment. And even as simple as taking 45 minutes out of my day to go read a story to my son or my daughter's kindergarten class. All those feelings of guilt of taking time off from work, I didn't like it. I didn't like the feeling it gave me. And I dreamed of a life where I could do the things that I love, like traveling. I love scuba diving. I love eating cheap food to expensive food. Those are some of the things that I really enjoy in my life, and also being there for my kids during their most formative years. And now that they're 13 and 11 and I'm in the place that I am, I'm truly grateful for all the opportunities that real estate has provided me. But to answer your question, how do we do it? We flipped houses. We flipped houses as a part-time thing to eventually making it a full-time gig. We flipped houses in order for us to amplify our capital. And then as we were able to make money on them, we figured out how to keep them. And that's through the power of midterm rentals.
Awesome. So where did the vision and the strategy come from? Did you just wake up one day and say, hey, I'm going to go from iPhones and MacBooks, that's all I know about Apple, to flipping homes? Where did the vision come from?
I think it started with, obviously, not asking for another day off and finding real estate as a vehicle. We figured, my husband being very handy and I'm very analytical and a problem solver. When you're in supply chain, you have to be a really great problem solver. And just putting together what we knew in our resources and then just putting it to work. And you do enough research, you get to about 80% confidence, I say, and then you JFDI. Just effing do it.
Okay.
It's not always easy. Like, you have to stop the analysis paralysis and get to a point where you can actually take the leap. And it's taking the leap where you learn the mistakes and you fix it. And then you go back again and just try improving every step of the way until you get really great at what you're doing.
Awesome. Oftentimes when we see business owners and entrepreneurs, we hear all about the wins and the accomplishments. Talk to us about the challenges and the lessons that you learned along the way of building your business.
Since I've been investing in real estate for decades now, almost 2 decades, I would say that I've been burned in real estate twice, pretty big. And I have to stick with the rule of location. I know it's so cliche. In the up market, it doesn't matter where the real estate is. People are buying it. But in the down market, when you need to exit, that's when the location really matters, find properties, whether it's long-term rental or mid-term rental, or even for flipping, especially for flipping, that you stick to really great locations, close proximity to great employers, great schools. You're just finding those kind of properties, and it's really helpful to minimizing or mitigating risk, because those properties will always be desirable.
How were you able to bounce back from that challenge?
Oh, my most recent loss was a downturn of the market here in Austin. I'm not afraid to talk about it because I'm growing from it. So we bought a flip last June as we knew the interest rates were turning. And we made assumptions that the market was going to change, that there's going to be more inventory, and that the prices would lower, but our assumptions weren't strong enough. So I would say that when you're underwriting a flip, make sure you are underwriting it aggressively and conservatively. Conservatively. So make sure you're underwriting it in such a way that you're preparing for the worst. And we didn't do that, and we ended up losing $80,000 from it. And the way to recover from it is not focus on the loss. Don't get me wrong. There were probably 2 months where I sulked and was really upset about it. But if you think about focusing on your skill set and the resources you can offer, just pivot for a little while and jump back right in later on. So for instance, instead of getting into a flip right away, we focus on what we know how to do, and that's remodeling and helping people find homes or listing homes. So my husband's a realtor, and he's also a general contractor. And I started growing this business so I could help other midterm rental operators, and just, leaning on your skill set and thinking about the things you can do versus the things that you can't do or how you failed in the past. And if you focus on those things, you're never going to get ahead.
Got it. So talk to me about the inception of your business. Now, a lot of new business owners and entrepreneurs, they're looking for the roadmap on how to build their business, and they look to someone like you to drop little breadcrumbs. How were you able to fund your business, or where did you acquire the capital to first start your business venture?
I actually cashed out a bunch of my stocks. When you work for a company like Apple, you get these restricted stock units that you acquire over time, and they get vested over time. And even though it was probably a bad tax move to cash out my stocks, I figured it would be a bad move if I didn't take this first step into financial freedom. And the only way I knew how to do it was to start investing in flipping and doing real estate. So I took a chance. But some people are like, oh, you started with $100,000. I did, but I also have started with zero before. It took me time to earn those restricted stock units. I earned that money. It was my hard-earned money that I used towards the real estate.
Okay. And what would you tell a new business owner or entrepreneur who doesn't have that option to cash out stock? How would you tell them, what would be your advice, the best way for them to fund their business?
So I think there's two ways you can provide value to anybody in business. Number one is, do you have time? Or number two, do you have money? Usually having both is pretty difficult to get there. So if you don't have capital to start, then you offer value. You offer your time. And I think that when you position yourself to offer value to someone that has money, then you can lean on that. So say, for instance, if you're just getting started, network with people that have money and spend your time to find deals. And when the deals look right, the money will come. So you're never alone in this business. And then the same thing with people with money. A lot of them that have money don't have time because they're already busy making money. So if you have money to invest, but you don't have the time, then find someone that has time and doesn't have money.
Got it. I love that. Let's talk about leadership and team building, because I know you're not doing this on your own. You already talked about your lovely husband. How did you craft your team? How did that look like?
Depends. My flipping business is just my husband and I, and we've been able to sustain a subcontracting team now for the last 5 years, but it took some trial and error. You're going to have some good contractors and some bad ones. And I think one of the reasons why we were lucky through the pandemic was because we were always loyal to one another. So they would show up for us and we would pay them on time, because that's what was important to us, was for them to show up. And what was important for them was to get paid on time. And then in terms of my corporate rentals business, my team, I have several people, boots on the ground. I have Michaela in Austin. I have Lindsay in Chicago. I have Jesse in Houston and May in Dallas. And then in the back end, we also have some other VAs that help us with some of the busy work that can help us propel through the daily operations.
Awesome. Awesome. Now it's time to highlight some of your milestones and achievements. This is your time to toot your own horns. Talk to us about some of the big milestones and achievements you're able to hit.
With our Corporate Rentals USA company, I think one of the milestones is we hit over 100 homes this past month. So now we have 100, we have 100 hosts on our website. And what we do is we connect these busy hosts with lucrative contracts. We are a business model, and we've been getting a really good steady stream of inbound housing requests. And what we do is we match those housing requests to our membership database. And if we don't have the properties available, we go and seek them. Our goal is to problem solve and make sure that we can be a reliable partner for the people that are needing housing, especially the businesses.
Awesome. Awesome. Work-life balance. A lot of us get into entrepreneurship and business ownership because we want a better work-life balance. And oftentimes in the beginning, we end up not having that balance. But talk to us about work-life balance and personal growth.
Oh man, work-life balance is still something I struggle with. To be honest, like I was for a while waking up at 5:30 and going to the gym. And then I fell out of routine, and I think I'm still out of routine. I went for a swim this morning, thank goodness. But it's tough. I'm still learning how to delegate. Let's put it that way. So work-life balance right now, it's hard. It is hard because there's a lot of people pulling for my time, whether it's an investor, whether it's my staff, whether it's my family. So it's been tough. It's on the forefront of my priorities. So as I continue to develop this and knock things out of my list, it's going to get better.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. In regards to future outlook, what's the future look like for you and your businesses?
I think I just really want to stabilize and deliver results to our existing clients. We're in Chicago, Dallas, Houston, Austin, and I would like to expand to other markets with the Hestia brand, which is the trusted brand of midterm rentals. But I want to be able to do it in a very careful and calculated way. I want to be able to build the systems and processes in the back end so that when we have some kind of an event or an influx in inbound requests, that we can capture those and deliver results without having a lot of problems. So I want to have a seamless system. I want to break it. I want to fix it and then go on.
Awesome. Awesome. Give us some closing inspirational words for the next person out there who's working at Apple, who's working at a tech company, or who's pinching pennies, but sees this interview and says to themselves, I want to be where she is.
I think it's again, very cliche, but it's so true. When you think about your why and you visualize what that end result's going to look like, that really will help you propel through the hardest days. So for instance, when I was doing my master's degree, I was studying till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'd be up again at 6, getting the family ready to school, going for a full day of work, coming back home, doing the family thing, and back at the books. And they were really hard days. And what kept me going was fantasizing about the day walking across the stage and getting my diploma. And that was when I was like, okay, I can do this. And then fast forward, on the 7th trip or 8th trip to Home Depot for that weekend, my kids being really upset with me for not playing with them at the playground. Again, I kept an eye on that dream of never asking for a day off again and what that looks like. And when I finally went to celebrate quitting my job, my husband and I, we took 5 days and we went to Napa Valley without the kids, and we were able to really just enjoy ourselves without thinking about emails and coworkers and what we had to come back to. It was worth every effort.
Awesome. Awesome. I know you're going to be at the STR Growth Summit in Austin. let's speak a little bit about that and exactly the folks that's going there. What can they expect when they meet you?
What can they expect when they meet me? I'm just a really social person. So come say hello and introduce yourself. And it's going to be a great event. There's so many amazing people that are coming out to this event. The speakers are going to be great. These are people that are actually doing it. These are people you can learn from and you can talk to. And this is a small conference. So this is a great opportunity to really get face-to-face with people. And I'm just a panel speaker. It's going to be really fun to be amongst...
You need to give yourself more credit than that. Not just a panel speaker.
I'm not a speaker. And I'm actually hosting a food tour on September the 10th for the VIPs. So definitely get in touch with the STR Growth Summit team and figure out how to do the VIP thing. And 15 lucky people will get to tour food with me, which is one of my favorite passions. And we will be checking out at least one place that's under the radar.
Whoa. Okay. So not a big tourist trap, something quaint and under the radar. I love that. No tourist.
Local stuff.
All good local stuff. No worries. Why don't you tell the lovely folks that are going to run across this podcast, how can they reach out to you? How can they connect with you? Do you have any type of mentorship? Tell us all about you.
The best way, I actually don't have an official mentorship. I do one-on-one coaching, but you can find me on my Facebook group, Midterm Rental Wealth with Vivian Yip, where I share a lot of tips and tricks on how to maximize your midterm rental business, whether it's through tools and systems and processes, and just a really great network of people.
Oh, you know what? All right, folks, that was another edition of the Wealth Ladder podcast, where we interview amazing business owners and entrepreneurs just like Vivian. We'll catch you guys again next time. Vivian, thanks again for agreeing to jump on the podcast.
Thanks, Andre. See you soon.
Right. Appreciate you.
Bye.
Right.
Rack it up, I got a bit of the bank to make me a safe house. Shake it up, she got her hands on her knees and she bringing it